Hey everybody, Mr. Hartnagel here. Happy holidays. Welcome to our holiday edition of Beyond the View. I hope everybody's excited for the winter break, and I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone out there. Hope everyone has a wonderful couple weeks off as we get ready for 2026. On this month's episode of Beyond the View, I was lucky enough to sit down with Ellen Langford from the class of 2023. Ellen is currently at the University of Central Florida up in Orlando, so another Florida school checked off the list. Ellen was kind enough to do this right before her finals, and we were able to speak very much on academics, and especially with her major being pre-med and her minor being dance. So a unique combination that we got very much into in this episode. So again, hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful holiday break, and looking forward to seeing everybody in January. Enjoy. All right, Miss Langford, thank you so much for joining the Beyond the View podcast. How are you today?
I'm good. Happy to be here. How are you?
Always, new stuff, having to deal with technical difficulties, but we're getting through it. So first of all, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I got to go home for a little bit. Got to see all my family, so good trip all around.
And how much school do you have left now that you're back?
I have just 1 week left. No classes, it's just finals for this week. And then I'm off for the semester.
Now, when you have finals right after Thanksgiving, how much of Thanksgiving break is studying for finals?
That's a hard one. A lot. Usually, I have only 2 finals left. A lot of my other finals were earlier than finals week, because sometimes professors will do that.
Yeah.
So for my dance classes, the finals are always a week earlier. And for my science labs, it's usually also a bit earlier. So I only have 2 finals left, but yeah, a lot of Thanksgiving is spent doing that. I try to leave the actual day of Thanksgiving free of studying, so we have good family time, but yeah, a lot. I'm thankful we have the Brightline train up to Orlando because I get to study there and back, which is nice.
So you're taking the Brightline up and back?
Yeah, I took the Brightline.
How is it?
Helpful.
I've never ridden it.
Oh my gosh, you should. It's very expensive.
It is pricey.
It is pricey, but it's so nice if you're able to, because 3 hours is a lot of time when it comes to final studying.
So you're finishing up finals. But let's put a pause on that. We'll get back to that. Let's talk about how we got here. So you're right now at UCF, which is unfortunately the rival to my USF. I will say this: I will proudly don on UCF gear the moment a Grandview student graduates. One of you graduates, I'll put on some UCF gear. Until then, I'll hold off on it.
I'll make it happen eventually.
But, it was back to senior year. It was down to Florida schools, UF, UCF, FIU. What was it about UCF that kind of put it over the top?
This is kind of a funny answer because it's not very technical or logical, but the feeling of the campus really got me. A lot of the students kind of wore the same things I did. We were all very casual and just kind of hanging out. Everyone was super nice, and I appreciated that a lot, especially since it is such a big school. It's nice to be able to form those close units of friends and just people you can go out and study with and hang out with. So definitely just the feel of the campus. That's probably not what a lot of seniors want to hear, but something about it got me. It also did help that my boyfriend Matt also goes here as well. Funnily enough, we both decided without telling each other that we were going to UCF. So that kind of worked out.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'd recommend not choosing where you go based on another person, but that did work out. So
I was going to say, it doesn't have a large success rate, but every now and then it does work out. So
that's true.
We're happy it works out here. But I tell students all the time, and you touched upon it. It's not logical. It's not. Yeah. I mean, obviously the data lines up, right? It's affordable. It's only a few hours away, so it's not too far from home, but it's also not feeling like you're right at home. So there's a lot of data, boxes that get checked off. But at the end of the day, it is the feeling of
Yeah.
where I'm at, which it's hard. Now, did you go after you were admitted, or did you go visit before you were admitted?
I went before I was admitted.
Okay.
So I went when I was just doing the process, and I really, really liked it. And I was like, gosh, I hope they admit me.
And I know that sometimes may alter someone's mindset when you go for either just a regular tour, and then when you go to like the admitted student open house when they do the big song and
Yeah.
dance. Here's who we are. So
Oh, yeah.
okay, so you get admitted, and then you move in. You start, UCF. What was that? Wow, I'm now in college moment.
Oh, gosh. A lot of it was moving into the dorms.
Okay.
That was where it started to hit. I started to kind of feel it, but it didn't quite get to me until probably like that after that first week of classes. Because the first week of college, everyone will tell you this, and it's so true. It's just syllabus week. It is nothing. Like the teachers will just harp on their syllabuses, and that is it. So after that first week, when like I started getting actual assignments, and it's so different because no one's telling you what's happening. It's mostly like through your online web courses or everything. So it felt weird. I was like, ooh, this is much different than everything else I've kind of seen up to this point. That's when it kind of hit. So like second week of classes, it started to really get me.
All right, now let's reverse a little bit, because you say, obviously the professors were so locked in on that syllabus
Yes.
for the first week,
Yes.
because that's their obviously the add drop period. Help me emphasize how important understanding and reading your syllabus is.
Oh gosh, it is very important because I have known people that miss something in the syllabus and it will take their grade like down like crazy, and it's not even any big thing that like, oh, you really should have been working on this a lot. It's just some little detail that you miss and it messes it up. But yeah, reading through those syllabuses, even when your teachers kind of harp on it, always go through it yourself. I'm a big highlighter and underlining person, so
Okay.
luckily I have my iPad, so I'll download all the syllabuses and I'll just read them and go through and through and through, because it has everything. It's got like how much each portion of the class is weighted into your grade, so like tests versus homework versus like participation. You'll see some people do participation, some professors don't, so it's also a big part of it. They'll put in, some professors will do like, hey, if you get, I know this is organic chemistry, probably because they try to give a little bit of grace in that class, but certain amount of homework, if you get like an average percent on all your homeworks, they'll put it to 100, so you can kind of plan out your grade according to that, especially around finals, when you want to see kind of how your grade's gonna end up looking.
Yeah.
So that's a big portion. So yeah, definitely read your syllabus is important.
Yeah, no, those first weeks, because I think it's also whether or not you want to stay in this class or not. I mean, it's clear what this class is going to be like in the syllabus, and it's okay. Now you got to make a decision: are you staying or are you going? Because if you want to go, now you got to find something else, and if you stay, you're staying. So that's one of the quick early lessons, is to definitely read your syllabus. So I'm glad they're really pushing it up there at UCF.
Oh yeah, the whole week.
Yeah. So let's talk about academics. Are you still, first of all, what's your major as of today?
Yeah, my major is biomedical sciences. Up here at UCF, the biomedical sciences major has a lot of different tracks. I am currently on the pre-med track, and I also have a dance minor, so.
Very cool. Very cool. So obviously you're in a tough science major. Was there a science class that was your first, oh, this is real, like this is really now serious, and obviously the next level up? Because sometimes you may take, a general bio class, which is not that much harder, but which was the first class where you're like, oh, this is different?
Well, this is a classic, the pre-med killer they call it. Organic Chemistry 1. Oh my gosh, that class was just so different. And because I started with Intro to Chemistry, then Gen Chem 1 and Gen Chem 2, and then went to Orgo. So I went through bottom up. And I thought general chemistry was hard. So going into organic chemistry was just different level completely. So much time you have to spend studying outside of class. It's definitely more of a teach yourself class as well, which was a learning curve. because the professors can teach as much as they want, but it's so unintuitive
Yeah.
to the majority of people that you really have to teach it to yourself at home, and kind of like rework it in a way that works for your brain and how you learn.
Mm.
So that was a big learning curve. Such a different class. It was also very hard for me to wrap my head around, with the fact of the test averages were so incredibly low for like
Mm.
every test.
Yeah.
And I was such a big like straight A's person in high school that getting to that point I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm failing." And it was like, "No, kind of everyone is." It's like the standard for failing versus doing well is just very different in those upper level classes.
Yeah.
So I felt very discouraged in the beginning because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I am failing this class." And it's like, "No, you're not failing this class. It's just such a different world." Oh my
Oh, I
gosh.
bet.
Yeah.
Did you have to change the way you learn from high school? Because I think sometimes the tricks and the tools that get you through high school don't always apply to college, especially depending on what classes you're going into. I know a lot of my former students in anatomy say the memorization is so extreme in anatomy that they had to learn new tools and tricks to even get that much information down. Did you have to change the way you learn, the way your learning style from back in high school, where, not to say that high school was easy, but that, obviously you didn't have to stress as much?
Yeah. I definitely changed how I approach it. In high school, I was kind of a read and remember kid, so I didn't do too much studying except for my like anatomy and neuro courses. I would do a bit of studying for those, but everything else was kind of a breeze. But coming into college, I now for my neurobiology course, for example, that I'm taking right now, I'll have my lecture and I'll take my notes on the PowerPoint slides that they give us, and then I will rewrite those notes on a physical paper. Then I will take that physical paper and I will read through, and highlight and rework, and I'll create just one final sheet of like everything that's kind of on there. So condense everything into that sheet. So many flashcards. Oh my gosh. See, I probably have some. Oh, here it is. This is gonna be fun. This was for organic chemistry, because there are so many reactions that you have to learn.
Yeah.
This was for one chapter.
Oh, wow. Ooh.
Yes, this was for one chapter. This is all my flashcards, and I have to put them in bags because,
It's organized.
yeah, it's a lot. So definitely so much more, and I have to study kind of more of like every day.
Mm.
I'll spread it out because in high school I would just be like, here's my study day. I'll do it in 2 hours, whatever. But here in college, I'll do chapter 1 reading today, and then I'll do studying on it tomorrow, and then the next day I'll do chapter 2, but I'll keep repeating. So it's definitely more of a keeping up with it and maintenance rather than oh yeah, I'll just study now for like 2 hours. You definitely have to do a little bit every day, which was.
And I was going to
kinda-
ask, managing your time that way, how much of an adjustment was that in terms of, yeah, I mean, you have much bigger tests that are worth a lot more in the sciences, that are covering a lot of material. How did you get used to managing your time so that you're doing a little bit every day? And obviously you don't have class, 7 to 3 every day. So how has managing and working your time to where you fit in your studying versus, okay, this is when I'm going to go eat, when I'm going to go do dance, when I'm going to go do different things. How has managing your time been?
That was one of the other biggest like curves, I think, especially because you don't have your parents anymore. You're very much like you are on your own. So you also have to factor in getting like your groceries and cooking and like all this stuff, which is so hard. Yeah. So I'm very much a planner person. So I'll usually, especially when it comes to finals week and weeks where I have a big test, I will plan out my entire week. And I will say, this block of time I'm in class. Great. It takes me 15 minutes to get home. once I get home, I'll study for this amount of time. Then I'll do a workout or two or like a dance exercise just to make sure I'm still doing that for my dance minor part. So I'll definitely plan out my days has been very helpful and sticking to that. But also giving yourself grace has been really important because especially in the pre-med world, any major really, it's very easy to compare to your peers. So finding a schedule that works for you, you can pick and choose from like what you see other people doing, but just because so and so is doing this and it works great for them doesn't mean it'll work great for you. Some people can sit down and just study for hours. I need breaks, and I found that a great break for me is walking outside. Like I'll be like, okay, we're done. I'm gonna go walk outside and I'll come back and I'll keep going. That is the only way I got through my first finals week. I would just study, walk outside and come back. Like
there you go.
Just figuring out certain things. Some people like to play some video games to relax. Some people, I don't know, they'll read. You gotta find your thing, kind of.
Do they still advise not taking science classes at 8 a.m.?
Oh yeah, don't do that. Oh gosh, I had my Chemistry 2 lab, which was 2 hours and 50 minutes, so it's basically a 3-hour lab. I had that at 7:30 in the morning.
Oof.
Never ever do that to yourself.
Yeah,
Never do that to yourself.
How is that adjustment? You know, with chemistry, biology, there's the class, and then there's the 1 credit. At least I'm still assuming they're doing it. The 1 credit lab that's separate.
Yeah.
Which is like a 3-hour block.
So bad.
For those who don't know what that's like, tell us what that's like. Just that 3-hour lab block.
It's like you gotta mentally prepare yourself. If you're like a coffee person, get your coffee in. I like to listen to music before I go into those blocks because it wakes me up, especially if it's 7:30 in the morning. So relax before you do that. A lot of the labs, this is more practical advice, but a lot of the labs you'll be standing up for that long period of time. So don't lock your knees or you will pass out. We learned that pretty quickly because I almost passed out in one lab. So don't do that.
Okay.
And definitely drink water before you go and eat before you go. But yeah, also just tell yourself, hey, this might not be the best thing ever, but we're gonna get through it and it'll be done. That helped me a lot. Also preparing for the labs so you don't get in there and know nothing of what you're doing. Because depending on your TA, whoever's running the lab, they'll either be like super hovery and they'll be telling you every step, which was more my Gen Chem lab, versus my organic lab is like, hey guys, you know what you're doing, go. And like, they'll maybe walk around the room, and if you have questions you can ask, but you're pretty much on your own for that. Also, choose your lab partners wisely, because that will make or break.
Yep.
I will say.
And then I know a lot of my former students who were all pre-med, were experts at whiteboard drawing, whiteboard, equations. They could work a whiteboard and draw just unbelievable when it was like anatomy or anything for their sciences, for chemistry and things like that. How good are you at the whiteboard?
I'm pretty good at the whiteboard. I don't have the whiteboard magic, I'd say, but definitely preparing for my lab final a couple weeks ago, I was working the whiteboard, and they'll test you on like the setup of the actual lab. So you got your like distillation lab, they'll ask you which part is which. So I did draw out a lot of that. I'm not the best artist, but I know what it is and what it looks like, so that part, the whiteboards are really nice.
It's critical.
Oh yeah.
So when did you decide I wanted to pick up a dance minor? What was that process? I mean, was it just like I started with a class and then it grew from there?
Yeah, little background, I've been dancing since I was around 8 years old. I started with gymnastics. I did most of my trainings in rhythmic gymnastics, a little ballet, tap, jazz here and there, and then at Grandview I did a lot of musical theater, did a lot of dancing there. So dance has always been kind of a part of my life. When I started school, I realized I love science, but I could not just do science feasibly and like still feel okay. Like I had a very hard time getting outside and doing activity, and I was like, I cannot just sit here and do science all day long. Like, I love it, but I need something else, and I needed that creative side. And so I found out that UCF has a really good dance minor program, and I started taking a couple classes, and then I auditioned first, I think, my fall of sophomore year, and I did not get in because my training was so rhythmic gymnastics based. Doing the ballet and stuff was very hard for me, so I did not get in, but I was determined to get in eventually, and I was planning to audition again that spring, but I did get a foot injury.
Oh.
So I had I think they called it cortical thickening of the metatarsal bones. Basically, I was dancing way too much and was on track to get a stress fracture.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
yeah, they told me, they're like, you cannot dance. You got to stop and you got to take a break. So I had that boot on my foot for 6 weeks and the whole 9 yards. But so when I came back from that, took it much easier, ended up taking a ton of ballet classes because that was one of my weaker points, especially at Orlando Ballet. They have open classes.
Oh, nice.
And I just did a ton, and I auditioned again this semester and made it in. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Definitely a long time coming, but it worked out.
How else are you spending your time? Do you have anything else that you do you tend to do outside the classroom area?
I love to read. I'll read like crazy. Nothing related to science. I just like reading fiction and all that. So that's something I do to de-stress. I also like to play a couple video games now and then because I live with Matt now and he's a big video game person, so we'll play a couple video games together now and then. He's also a big workout person, so he's gotten me into the gym a couple times. That is definitely super helpful, especially on those very stressful days. It's nice to push around some weight. So
favorite spot around campus? What's your favorite place to be around campus? I know with UCF being so big, everyone kind of gets overwhelmed. But when you really think about it, it's usually just like student union, cafeteria, dorm, rec center, and then maybe like one or two of your academic buildings that you always hang out with, and then like the library. Where's your spot? Where do you usually find yourself on campus when you don't have class?
I love the Performing Arts Center.
Oh, nice.
That is one of my favorite places because I kind of gravitate there because I have a lot of friends in like the musical theater department and majors and all that. And it's nice to see and like interact with like people that do other things besides science. It's very refreshing. Being there is super nice. It's also got such nice spaces that I can just relax in. And since I do so much dancing there, it feels a lot homier. I really like that. The Performing Arts Center. I enjoy what's called the Trevor Colburn Hall. Very underrated place on campus, I've got to say, but it's just like a little building with a bunch of rooms, and no one is ever there. So there's always open rooms, which is really nice because the library is booked and busy. So I don't go to the library very much because it can be a lot, especially around finals week. I would not be over
For me, the
there.
library was always just a place that people watch. I never really got much studying done. But you always need to find your little nooks that not a lot of people go to, not a lot of people know about, to really be able to focus. Have you been able to really explore and enjoy the Orlando area?
I do go to downtown Orlando often because of Orlando Ballet. I go there a lot to take classes. So I'm down in the downtown area. They've got a lot of good just shopping and stores, and my mom is also from Orlando, so when she comes and visits me, she'll make me go outside and all of that. So Lake Eola, that kind of area is beautiful. It's very nice, great food. They've got swans in the lake, so that's always nice to see.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, Orlando. There are definitely some really great spots. And I know a couple of my friends have classes on the downtown campus and they really like it down there. So a lot to see.
Have you had a chance to do any internships, research, anything over the summers or during the school year that's part of your program?
Yes. I actually am doing an internship right now. It's not part of the UCF program. I found it myself, but a lot through like Handshake LinkedIn,
Yep.
Indeed. I'm just surfing those constantly. I am interning at a primary care clinic as a
Mm,
medical assistant.
very
So,
nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool. We do patient intake,
Mm-hmm.
we take all their vitals, anything else they need to do before seeing the provider, like a diabetic test or a diabetic foot exam, we do a lot. We'll do EKGs and the like, and then we send them up to the provider. So that's kind of our job there.
What's been the biggest? Because I know, for again, a lot of my former students, studying medicine is one thing,
Mm-hmm.
working with a patient the first time, and
Yeah.
being with people and having those people skills, especially obviously not every patient is a dream come true.
No.
So, what has that been like? What has that taught you, just being out there and working in the field with patients, even as simple as an intake form, but just understanding kind of that side of the process?
Yeah, I actually love patient interaction. That's my favorite part of
Oh,
medicine.
nice.
Some people like the more behind the scenes. I really, really enjoy being with the patient. Yeah, doing that intake, it's so different than being behind the scenes. It really is, because you read about these cases and you see all these things, but it becomes so real when you see the actual person with an illness or a problem standing in front of you. And it can be very heartbreaking at times.
Hmm.
It's hard to not take what you see home with you. Um, that's probably the hardest part for me. I take a lot of what I see back home, and
Hmm. Yeah.
but it's also really nice to be right there because you know that you are making an impact and you are there to help. Um, and definitely like putting on that helping, like, happy kind of face and just being there, thinking of it like not, oh, this is me doing my job. Like, no, I am here to help this patient. That like mindset shift helps me a lot to not think about myself because it's not about me in that room, it's about them. So kind of tuning yourself just more to what they want and need. And especially when dealing with those less than dreamy patients, because
Yeah.
I've had those. I really try to just think about they're in pain or they've got some illness. They're here for a reason. So
Hmm.
it's really not about you or what you're doing. They are going through something. So taking so much of what they say with just a huge grain of salt. Because I know even when I just get a little cold, I'm all snappy. So I can't imagine how hard it is with
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
more illness than that. Yeah, so it's very hard, and there have been times like, oh gosh, I'll have a bad or hard patient, and like after you step out the room, I've had to take a moment for myself and just like recenter before I can go to my next patient. So it can be hard, but it's very rewarding. I enjoy it just a lot.
Oh, I bet. And so now for the future, I know you got basically 3 semesters left.
Mhm.
With the rest of junior year and then senior year. Can't believe it's already
Yeah.
almost now more than halfway done.
Oh, oh,
I was saying, and I asked this to Ava, but do you feel like college has gone by faster than high school?
oh my gosh, yes. It's so fast. Especially something about like doing it in semesters rather than a year makes it
Mm.
feel so much quicker. Because
Yep.
it's like you feel like you just start the semester and then it's like a couple months go by and you're already doing finals. Like it's so much quicker. And
What's
I blame it on the semesters.
what's coming up for you? I mean, I know MCAT is going to be something in the future, but
Yeah.
do you plan on doing it while you're still at UCF? I know some finish college, then take time
Mhm.
off to do the MCAT, work a little bit before going through the medical school application process, which is
Yeah.
a long process in
Oh
it of
god.
itself. What's have you thought about what your plan is going to be for the next 3 semesters?
Yeah, I'm actually taking 4 more semesters.
Okay,
I'm going to graduate in the fall of 2027.
nice.
I planned out my whole 4 years and I was like, this is insane. And there's no way I can take these classes together and still get good grades.
Yeah.
Um, and since I also added the dance minor, I was like, there's nothing wrong with taking more than 4 years. And I was like, I am going to take that extra semester because I need it. And
No,
so,
absolutely. I think 4 years is a myth. I mean, obviously there are some majors that are going to be 5 regardless, especially
mm,
the engineering. So
yes,
I'm sure Matt is going to be probably in school for a little bit longer with his
yeah,
engineering. Yeah, I mean, taking an extra semester or two to get what you want out of it,
mm,
especially if you're adding on, for example, a dance minor and spreading things out. I think absolutely. I mean, that's why colleges now have 6-year graduation rates because they
mm,
kind of foresee it shouldn't hopefully go longer than 6, but it's
yeah,
gonna, the 4 is always been sort of this old school myth of it
yeah,
has to
very
be 4.
arbitrary.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people get caught up in the, oh, but I have to graduate with everyone else. And it's like, not really. I mean, there are people that go in their freshman year, they're like 25 and older. Like, there are people that start older. College is, the college timeline is really a myth.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, especially with medicine, like, there's really no rush. You're gonna be in school forever. Don't freak yourself out. It's okay. But yeah, you actually,
I think a lot of medical schools want people that are a little bit older with more experience,
yes, they do.
rather than a 21-year-old who hasn't done anything.
Hmm.
So we would always find that. So, yeah, having a little bit more maturity, a little bit more under your belt as far as experience. I think all of that is really good. And you're right. There's no prize for finishing first.
Yeah, there's not. There's honestly like less of a prize because then you got to go right to the workforce or do more school, and it's like, whoa, let's relax.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't ever go back. You can't go back and
Yeah,
enjoy these times. So
it's true. And so speaking of like after I graduate, you caught me at a good time because I'm actually between right now between medical school and physical therapy school.
mm,
I was very diehard medical school for a long time, but recently physical therapy kind of caught my eye. So I'm looking to shadow some physical therapists, kind of
nice.
work in that department a little, because I love patient interaction and I'd get more of that with physical therapy. And it aligns a little bit better in different ways than medicine, strict MD medicine does.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of planning throughout that, but luckily I don't have to change my major. I can still
Yeah,
take the same either one.
yeah.
Um,
It's pretty much the same.
the only difference is MCAT for MD or DO versus GRE for physical therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be taking either of those tests after I graduate, is what I'm thinking of doing.
Yeah.
I can take that spring after I graduate in the fall to take that and then start applying for the next cycle. So luckily that all worked out really great. And I can take that time to kind of decide exactly where I want to go, especially because they're both such big commitments. It's a lot more school.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so thinking forward in that ways has been good. But yeah,
Nice.
that's kind of the plan. We'll see.
What's been the biggest lesson or thing that you took away from Grandview that has applied the most to your time now at UCF?
Definitely the soft skills and a lot of like presenting and being able to talk to people, especially people who are higher up. Um,
Hmm.
so, like, talking at Grandview to your teachers and even just like the principal or the head of school is so easy because it's so small and the connections are so like fostered for you. Everyone's like, yeah, talk to anyone. Um, and that really helps, especially when it comes to talking to your professors.
Hmm.
It's very daunting because you see they're like PhDs and all this stuff and they're teaching these crazy classes. So it seems like a lot, but from Grandview, like they're also people and you can talk to them and it's okay. So that helped me a lot. I had a very easy time raising my hand in class. I remember my first semester, my math class. One of my friends needed to ask a question and they were like, "Oh, but I'm so nervous to raise my hand." And I was like, tell me your question. I'll raise my hand and ask it for you. Like, it's whatever. So having those skills and being able to just talk to your professors and talk to higher ups is so helpful, especially when you're looking for research and shadowing. You're
Mm-hmm.
talking to these full blown professionals. So it can seem like a lot and that they've got so much more experience than you, which they do, but they were also once in your shoes. And being able to talk to these people has just been very helpful because I see a
Nice.
lot of
Very
people who
nice.
don't like to do it. Yeah.
let's leave with this. What advice would you give? We have obviously a lot of students who are interested in going into pre-med.
Yeah.
It still has such a lure, right? To go to medical
Yes.
school and to be pre-med. What advice would you give to someone who's in high school who's thinking about going down that path, and whether it's with the classes or with what you need to do outside, but any advice that you would have for a future pre-med student?
Yes, I first and foremost, don't psych yourself out. Please don't psych yourself out, because I did that to myself, and it's so hard to unlearn that once you've done it. So try not to psych yourself out. Medicine, while it is very challenging, it is doable. People have done it before you, people will do it after you. It's a doable thing. And while some pre-med people are just geniuses and they will see something once and remember it forever, doctors are also, there's a lot of normal people, average people that just spent a lot of time working on their craft. So don't compare yourself. That's number 2. Don't psych yourself out, and don't compare yourself. That is a big one. People do it differently. Non-traditional paths to medicine, there's traditional paths to medicine, there's everything in between. I know the first doctor that I shadowed, she went to school in South America, and she went to high school there, she went to medical school there, and she moved here, and she's now working for the healthcare system with University of Miami. So like, there's so many different paths to medicine, and not just one is particularly right. It just happens to be the time and place that you're at when you're applying or before. So just take those into account. I'd say number 3, start shadowing if you can. Some doctors don't like high school students to shadow them. And that's okay. But once you get into your freshman year of college, I'd recommend reaching out to doctors and starting to shadow. Reach out to family, friends, doctors, like anyone you can have a connection to, just reach out. They're usually more than happy to have you just come in. But yeah, shadowing is very important. All the specialties you can, shadow them all if you can. But it really helps narrow down and tell you, like, do I actually like this? Could I see myself doing this? Which is important, because I thought I was going to be in neuro. I thought I was going to be in neurology, and I shadowed a neurologist, and I was like, no, never, ever, ever. So...
But it's a good experience because
it really is.
You now know you haven't spent 12 years trying to learn something and find out too late. So I think any experience ends up being a good experience, whether you absolutely hate what you're doing, but it ends up being good because you do now know this is what I want, or this is now what I don't want, and I want to pivot to something else. Or you see something else that you now want to do, like you with physical therapy. It's, maybe I should take a look at what's over here, because I think the MD route is so ingrained. And so, whether my students ended up being in PT, in PA school,
PA is
or
great.
that, but obviously, anyone just sees doctor and they think MD. In fact, most of them don't even know, like, for example, did you know what a DO was before you got to UCF or not?
I did not, but now I'd rather be a DO than an MD, which is funny.
And that's, no one knows what a DO is.
No, they don't. Sad.
I know, but listen, all that's been great. We've taken so much of your time, so thank you so much for this, and we absolutely wish you the best of luck with your finals coming up.
Thank you.
And
go
with
study
the rest,
now.
Yep, and with the rest of your time at UCF, hopefully we can bring a group up to come visit soon.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Probably not on the Bright Line, but yeah.
That'd be a lot of kids.
Yeah, a little pricey, but no, we are hoping to bring up. It's still one of the top schools as far as applications is concerned. So, but no, we're excited to keep sending more students to UCF. So, but thank you so much for this, and again, good luck with the upcoming exams.
Thank you. I'll need it.
All right, take care.
You too.